Hey, everybody, I'm Alex Newman, a longtime educator, journalist, author of the recent book, Indoctrinating Our Children to Death, Government Schools' War on Faith, Family, and Freedom, and How to Stop It. I've been asked to talk about education technology, or ed tech as it's called. This is one of many, many sinister agendas and developments that we're seeing in the government school system, and unfortunately, even in private schools as well. It encompasses a whole range of different technologies. But one of the big ideas is to digitize everything. Ultimately, if you listen carefully to the people who run the education system, they want to move teachers out of the picture, basically turn them into glorified babysitters, and have all of the so-called education taking place on a digital device where the data can be captured, where it can be stored, where it can be analyzed, where it can be run through algorithms. And ultimately, as the U.S. Department of Education revealed as far back as 2012 in an official U.S. Department of Education report, they want to use all this data and put it through algorithms to predict the future behaviors and interests of your children. And it's actually about more than just prediction. B.F. Skinner, the behavioral psychologist, really pioneered the idea of stimulus response mechanisms. He basically viewed human beings as circus animals to be trained. And he created the infamous Skinner box, right? Where this was supposed to modify the behavior of the child or the animal, rats, whatever it might be. There were even reports that he put his daughter in one. There's controversy about that, but be it as it may, the point was using a response to a given stimulus, to a given response, you could modify the behavior of living organisms. A negative response would lead to negative feedback, like a shock or something like that. A positive response would lead to positive feedback. And that's actually what they're doing now with this ed tech, with a goal of changing the views, the attitudes, and the beliefs of children. And so they come up with a predetermined idea that children should accept, say on abortion or open borders or whatever. And they ask children questions about it. So they gather data on what they already believe. They figure out what's the best way to modify that. And the children get positive feedback when they have the right attitude. So let's say the goal is to promote abortion. Abortion is defined in social emotional learning, hypothetically, as empathy or something like that. So the child has the right attitude, and little smiley faces come on, and little music, and you get a little reward. Maybe you get some points in a gamified so-called education system. Well, maybe you have the wrong attitude. Maybe you don't think babies should be killed. Well, in that case, you get a sad face and you get negative points, whatever the case may be. So this shifts the attitudes and the values of children. And ultimately, they want to bring artificial intelligence in. In 2019 in Beijing, the United Nations brought together governments from around the world for the first ever AI in Education conference. They came up with the Beijing Declaration, and they actually decided that AI would be very useful in shifting the attitudes, values, and beliefs of children. So this is where they're going. This ed tech is very, very dangerous. Bill Gates is one of the big promoters and funders of this. Of course, he hopes to profit from it, but it's much more than that. It's about capturing every data point on your child that you can imagine, and then using that to facilitate large-scale central planning, attitude manipulation, and ultimately behavioral control. Again, I'm Alex Newman. Thanks for watching, and please get involved in this fight.